really like bad movies, and that might sound unusual to a lot of people. Just because like bad movies are bad movies. You're not supposed to enjoy them. You're supposed to walk out and not ever want to watch them ever again. I I got real. Bad movies are important to me. I love a lot of them dearly for a lot of different reasons, and I think as a society, we all need to start watching more bad movies. There's a ton of bad movies I have a lot of nostalgia, a lot of love for, and The Incredible Hulk is the biggest one. I know Incredible Hulk is a bad film, but at the end of the day, it's tied up in a lot of emotion, a lot of nostalgia, and it means a lot to me. I watch it every year. I don't know why it means so much to me, but Incredible Hulk has kind of been that mainstay in my life, I guess. I think Incredible Hulk is fucking fantastic. I never get sick of it. I can watch the movie 10 times a day and be perfectly fine when I watch it another time. Um, and again, I'll fully admit, that is a lot of nostalgia locked up in there. I will fully admit that fact. I don't think it should take away from it being a 5 out of 5 in my book. It's an honor 5 out of 5 on my letterbox. Follow me on letterbox, by the way. I've been loving that out too much lately. But I think it's 5 out of 5. I think that it's perfect to me. Does it have faults? Absolutely. I could pick apart that movie day and night. But guess what? I think it's fucking perfection. It means something to me. It means something. It got a reaction on me. It's this thing. I don't know. Bad movies can mean a lot to a lot of people, and I think we need it as a society, as people who like movies and like to argue about everything. Society loves to argue about shit. It needs to start getting around to the fact of people can just like shit for whatever reasons, and they can like it for however high they want. They put it as high as they want. We as a society need to get around the fact that bad movies do exist, and we need to celebrate the fact they exist because movies in the first place are hard as hell to make. So I think it's special when movies do get put out there, and even if they're god terrible, like fucking worst things you see in your life, we should celebrate the fact that they did get made by talking about them and being like, and still giving credence, still giving a lot of thanks and praise to the people who did make those movies, still having to be able to have the discussion and be civil about, yes, I love The Incredible Hulk. I know it's a bad movie, I'll fully admit that, but also no one should want to kill me for it. No one should be at my throat for it. That's the thing we got away from when it comes to society. But also, bad movies teach us a lot. I think they teach us a lot about how to tolerate. I've had discussions with people and they're like, "What's the worst movie you've seen?" I'd be like, "It's Amsterdam," which is true. And they'll be like, "Oh, I like that movie," and I'd be like, "This is why I didn't like it." And you know what? I'm not to talk about it. They can like whatever fucking movie they want. But I think bad movies are important to us. It's important for our souls. I think it's important for our how we view things. Because we can get past the problems and still love something for it. I think it shows a lot about us. I think, I mean, maybe it's a misstep I've had in my life, but when people have red flags, I get past them because I love them and I cherish them and they mean something to me. Maybe that's a step in my life, but that's how I view things. I think that bad movies are like people. I think movies are like people. I think a lot about a person's favorite movie can tell you a lot about them. I mean, there's this whole thing with red flags. People who like some films are red flags. Like you like American Psycho, you love Fight Club. Like these are red flags. I love those movies, surely. But I think a lot of people, they can tell you about a lot of people because does that guy understand the messaging around American Psycho or messaging around Fight Club? Do they understand? But also, it lets you get a vision into their heads, like what they dislike, what type of person they are. I think even if that movie is objectively bad, you can tell something. You can tell. It's. I think it's more it's more accurate than like astrology. Favorite movie is an action film, like Die Hard. You can tell they're a little more laid back, they're a little more like free, I guess. Some favorite movies like Oppenheimer, as an example, they're a little more like tight-laced. They're a little more like wanting to find their art and everything. That's the thing. Even when people say like they like a bad movie and they're like, oh, it's guilty pleasure. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I think that if you enjoy something, you should enjoy it to its full extent without having the peer pressure around it, and just be proud of what you do and do not like. And it might be a bad movie. Again, like I said, Incredible Hulk is one of my favorite movies of all time. Sleepaway Camp is objectively not a great film, but I think it's fucking fantastic. That's the thing. I think that having a guilty pleasure reduces your own pleasure. I think it's the societal pressure pushing onto you when you can just make your own decisions. You have your own free will. I think people forget that they don't have their own free will, and they don't need to follow the momentum train on things. Especially when it comes to like fandoms, that's what's been happening recently with like Star Wars. They're like, the Acolyte sucks, and then they watch Acolyte and actually develop their own opinions, and then they're like, okay, there's a lot of problems with it. There is a lot of problems with Acolyte, but they realize that I really love it, no matter what it is. It had a lot of promise, and it gave us a lot, and I think that's important. Again, as a growing society, is that we need to find the good in things that are made and created as art, and this is like 14 different tangents I've been on in this fucking video. Holy shit. But I want people to watch bad movies. If you hear movies bad in theaters, go watch it. Go watch Madam Web. I watched Madam Web last year when it came out in theaters, and I still quite enjoyed myself a little bit. It was my worst movie of last year. It was. But I enjoyed myself still. I found enjoyment in it. There's enjoyment in everything you watch. Except for Amsterdam. There's nothing good about that movie. And Anya Taylor-Joy's in that movie, and I love Anya Taylor-Joy. More people watch more bad movies, and we're more open to the idea of watching bad movies in the first place. We become better. There's ever been a group of people where are like, The Room is a terrible movie, and they go, yeah, they go, no, it's a great film. But they all go, I love it though. Because it's a bad movie. It has a lot of things to love about it, even if they weren't the things that were intended, as Tommy Wiseau wanted. It's still, in the end, a classic film. And I think we need more rooms out there. I think we need more of the rooms. Plainly. Maybe not to the quality. We can definitely up the quality. But I think watching bad films helps us. And it develops your palate. If you're trying to get into, like, film, watching bad movies develops your palate. I love Silence of the Lambs. You watch Silence of the Lambs 10 times a week, it ain't gonna develop. You just be like, I love Silence of the Lambs. And it's a great message to come away from after that week, but it's not gonna help. But if you spice it up, watch bad movies, watch these things you're not fully interested in, it helps differentiate and how you rate and how you develop and what you like and what you don't like, and how you can see from the difference between a bad movie and a good movie, and if the difference between love and like, and the difference between, man, that was a dog shit movie, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. Because sometimes I walk out of movies, especially like hardcore action movies, I'm like, that wasn't very good, but I fucking loved it. Like, you can have those divisive feelings upon a film, and it means something to you. I think we're stuck in this black and white of it. You can't love something but also hate what it was. Like, I know it's weird to have this weird like back and forth with yourself about movies. It can be both, to you personally, and it can be. And some person might think that was great, but they hated it. I've had plenty of films where I'm like, that was a good film. I didn't like it though. I think it's important to spice up our palette. And this isn't just like a tone to just film. I know I use a lot of film examples, but books and art pieces and fucking even wrestling. Like, it applies to everything that we consume, is to also consume the bad. Consume the bad as much as you consume the good. I think it's very, very important. Just kind of give you a sense of self at the end of the day.